But what do you got
many.
for your... who'd you even do? I don't even think I know who you did.
Discog Dive. You don't know who I did?
I'm guessing.
All right.
Suicide Boys.
Nah. I fuck doing a Discog Dive on them. They've got fucking tons of shit.
Alright, what do you got this week for us?
Triple One.
Triple One, okay.
I believe they're Sydney based, but they are Australian, so...
What? You see me pick my nose? I didn't pick it. I was
you were in there.
I was itching the I was itching right on the hole.
Third knuckle deep.
I was itching the hole. Like, you see that? I'm itching the legitimate hole.
Mate, that's like the episode of Seinfeld where he's like just driving his car and he just like does one of these ones.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
the chick he's dating at that time like comes up there.
Yeah.
A little sneaky side scratch. So yeah, Sydney boys, I believe, Triple One. They're Australian anyway. Easily my favourite Aussie rapper of all time. Leaving Cursor in the dust. Who else is there?
Cursor's gonna get you.
Well, there's 360, Bliss and Esso, Hilltop Hoods actually. They've got a more solid discography, but I think I like Triple One's vibe better.
There's a few.
Who else is there? Oh, Chillin' It.
Chillin' It.
I like him.
Mate, forgot about him. Where's my bong? What's he say? Where's my lighter?
Yeah. So, anyway, cracking on. They each go by quite a few names, but I'll be calling them Marty, Obi, Dijon, and... Well, there's a producer, but like those three, because those names are in all of their aliases.
Right.
So it's like Marty Large Bukaki or Marty Bugatti.
Right.
Or like... Obi-3 Terrors,
Marty
Obi-1.
As if he didn't make that his original name.
Yeah, I know. I think he made Bukaki first.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
And then just
definitely much better.
Yeah, I think as they started to like get a bit more, traction behind, he's like, no, I can't have Bukaki in my name. So he changed it. But then, the producer is Billy Guns, who he does not change his name. Their discography online is a fair bit fucked. They don't have everything on Spotify. And then they don't have everything on SoundCloud. And then on SoundCloud, they have different projects under the album tabs than they do under the playlist tab. Mm-hmm. So since I wanted to listen to everything, I had to like keep switching between like the three different things and keep tabs on what year each album/EP was released. And it's just so I wasn't like jumping ahead into their discography. It was a little bit annoying. But their first project was the No Banger Bangers EP, released June 2015. It's only 5 songs long, only 2 of which are on SoundCloud. I had to Google around, check some other sites, and I found all but one. Maybe. I cannot find that slippery little sucker anywhere. So I'm going to have to start out on the second song, which I think is called Ace High. I don't know if I've actually put it in here. But it is pretty nice. It is called Ace High. It sounds pretty good, but carrying on with their unorganised disjointedness, it's a touch under 2 minutes long, and I don't know who's singing because it's missing lyrics on Genius. Mm-hmm. Dijon and Obi sound very similar. I think it's Dijon, but I don't know. The production is like if you loosen all the strings on a guitar and then play it. Like it's very like slappy.
Right, slappy.
Yep. That's My Money is quite bad. It's got like a video game kind of sound that's very loud and I can barely hear what the boys are saying. And for some fucking reason, it's only in my right ear and it's so high pitched. It's all I can hear in the song. But then the last track, Incense, this fucker is big. It's like 6 minutes long. It gives the guys plenty of time to leave their words sitting there for you to take in. And it's about breaking up with a girl. Marty says that he went to a party and saw her there. He was looking at her from behind and just hoping that she wasn't going to turn around, but then she did. But she didn't see him. She caught the gaze of another guy.
Oh, that's dog.
Who she is now apparently dating because he walks up and hugs her, keeps his arm around her waist.
Yep.
So he says he's swallowing his pride, confidence, and a pill for his happiness. He also says that he hopes he ODs because then he'll die happy. He ends the verse with, burn my verse and never play it back. And then the beat just stops for like 5 seconds and all you hear is the kick, just do-do, do-do, like a heartbeat. Then the beat comes back in full swing. It's such a great track. You can definitely hear the potential here. And obviously I've already heard like their new stuff, but going back and listening to this, it's really cool because it's like a less polished off, like awkward footed version of what they have now. But the majority of the songs in this one were a miss. But what I did actually really like about going back through their discography is like watching them try and find their footing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like once they found it, that was it. Like they built on that. It was like they were looking for solid land to build a house on. Yeah. And then they found something that was flat and like built something really nice. I
think that's what's really good about going through the Discogs.
Yeah, like starting at the start.
Yeah, like you can really see a difference. Even in like some of the most established artists, like Drake sounds nothing like he did back then, and guys like Kanye West have drastically evolved their sound. And some even start with something, evolve, and then go back to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's really cool to see that, and I think that's one of the advantages of the Discog Dive, and definitely something that is advantageous to this segment.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really cool just seeing like the artist kind of like pivot a little bit, just trying to find something solid.
Yeah.
And I think The Weeknd probably has like the biggest example of like, you know, pivoting in their discography, like that I can think of at the moment anyway. He pivots a lot. But going back to Triple One, the next project, Doozy, only released 2 months later in August of 2015. Another 5-song long EP with missing lyrics on 3 of them, but they do have all 5 on SoundCloud. Starting out on Doozy, the title track, it's just a trap banger. Oh, jeez. And the energy that they have is really, really good as well. I'm going to play a little bit of it, because like the beat, it just comes up so slowly and hard. So it's got kind of like Asian vibes kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And you can hear just slowly coming up. And then I think it's Obi on first. And like as you're doing this, the bass is just like swelling and throbbing in your car. And the energy that they all bring to that is really, really good. But they do let loose on the Australian accent here, and I have spoken about this before. I'm not a huge fan of it, like especially in like hip hop. That's just a personal thing. It just sounds dirty. Ready, spelt without the A, is pretty much the same. And then Arnold Palmer remix, originally by Rat King. It's a very soft song, which even has a little trumpet in there, which was a little bit weird to hear just after hearing like 2 high energy trap tracks. Yeah. Then Always Right Now is definitely them experimenting, and I don't think it worked out. They all had very aggressive delivery, and the ad-libs would be screamed, and I will just say that does not work with an Australian accent.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sativa is more or less the same experimental kind of vibe. It's a weed anthem, obviously from the name, and it's over very Arabic sounding production. I don't think this project was very good, considering it only came out 2 months after the last one. I think they might not have spent much time on it, I'm not sure. But I won't be including any of these songs from the project in my top 7.
Right.
Mid-2016, the 6-track EP, The Libertine, released, when they really started to come into their element and develop their own sound. And I think this was one you reviewed. Mm-hmm. This is the one with like lakes, colours, 6-speed.
Yeah.
Libertine is defined as someone who throws morals out the window when it comes to sexual pleasure. It starts out in 6-speed, which refers to a car, and it's a great track. I will play the first little bit, and this is when they began to use Dijon as the chorus, as the melody maker kind of thing. He's got a really, really good voice. So it's quite soft. I love that voice.
See, that's what I liked about this album, the softness.
Yeah.
But it's just not... just when they go into the rapping, I don't think it sounded as good.
Yeah, I agree. To me, it's the Australian accent. I don't know if that's the reason for you.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it kind of took it away a little bit. But, yeah, so he's got a really, really good voice. The other boys, they, especially on this album, I think they didn't rap with enthusiasm. And enthusiasm tends to bring out the Aussie accent a lot more. So here they sort of just talk instead. So you can hear it, but it sounds a lot better, I guess, than that older stuff. Or other stuff where they just rap a lot more aggressively. And sometimes they'll even like softly sing. But Obi on this song, for example, just talks softly. Ever Since, I think, is about catching a chick cheating and burning that bridge. Then the title track, Libertine, has some great production. Billy is really ramping up his game here. It's solely Obi on this track. He does the hook and all 3 verses. It's mainly about alcoholism. And there is a bit of content there about women. He alludes to the fact that he's always had issues with alcoholism, and this chick is just driving him further and further down that path.
Yep.
Colours is a beautiful song, like one of my favourite sound-wise, and honestly, I have no idea what it's about. The chorus says, "All I see are these colours. We walk with distant others, but really what it is all... Wait, what the fuck? But really, what is it all to me? Someone help me, I'm drowning." I cannot comprehend what that possibly means, but the way that he says it is so good.
My foot's in the shot.
This is how he says it as well. I don't know when he comes in. A lot of their tracks are very sort of like slow building. Oh, that's right. It starts out in a verse. Here. See all these colors, the distant others. He's got like a great voice for melodies. But yeah, so I got no clue what that could possibly mean. Lakes is another great sounding track. This is the track that says, "And I'll drink till my liver gets cirrhosis." Really, really great sounding one. It's obviously about alcoholism again. In both tracks about alcoholism, Obi was the one doing the storytelling, so I would guess that it's him that struggles with it. The closer of the project is Breaking Dawn, and it starts out quite aggressive with a violin going like do, 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 do kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Then it turns indie with like guitar strings over the chorus. Then it's got like a video game kind of soundtrack, like an 8-bit kind of noise over the second verse. Then on the bridge, it changes again to like a more of a metal vibe. Then it goes back to the violin. So when you're focusing on it, the transitions are quite smooth. They do sort of go backwards and forwards quite effortlessly. But if you're like focusing like 50%, you're fading in and out into the song. Yep. It's quite jarring.
Yeah.
This album is easily their most cohesive yet, with all of the tracks focusing on one topic. That is the libertine, a sexual demon.
Yep.
Every track has something to do with a girl, whether that be breaking up with them, wanting them back, and they always place sexual desires at the top of the list, like the number one reason why they want this girl back. So yeah, my 2 songs from this one. Have I already? Oh yeah. I forgot to say one earlier. What the fuck is it? Incense was the song. I think that was from their first album. Yeah. By the No Banger Bangers EP. Incense is the first song from there. Then, so from the Libertine, I then have Colours and Lakes. The Naughty Corner, released in 2018. Another EP, 6 tracks long. Track 2 is the first one of theirs I ever heard. It starts out with blongos, like bongos, but with an L in there.
Right.
The production of this one is the highlight, and even the boys say that. Billy made the beat, and they spent like 2 or 3 weeks trying to find a melody to fit on there, and you can hear that. Tarlo is the track where I discovered Triple One. It's a bloody banger, and the first time I heard it, I didn't even know they were Australian until Obi starts rapping like in the second verse. The next 4 songs though were a miss for me. They're all songs basically just saying I'm Great, I'm Going to Kill You, etc. And 2 of them were about girls. The production is really, really good. On the last track, for example, Supermassive Attack, it sounds very cinematic and grand. The boys even said that they wanted it to sound like a horror movie. But I don't think it suits hip-hop, and especially not Australian hip-hop for that matter. I think it would definitely suit something for like Game of Thrones soundtrack or like something else like that. So my, what is it? 4 in my top 7 is Tarlo. What the fuck am I up to? Their latest project, released only a few months ago, The Libertine 2. It's only 7 tracks long, and it starts on Shore, which is my 5th song. It's a great sounding track about a girl. It has a little bit of alcoholism in there as well. He realizes what he's missing when he's 5 deep in ethanol. That's what he says, and I really, really like it's such a different way to say I've had 5 drinks. Like I'm 5 deep in ethanol. I think that's really clever. The next 3 songs are very cryptic, and I can't really tell what they're about. But I will be honest, I didn't spend a huge amount of time trying to figure it out. They are all about girls, or at least mention a synonym for a girl at some point. Sally's Seashells, though, is quite bad. Sounds very flat, and I didn't really like the next track either, The 8th Day. The verses were good, but the intro and chorus sounded quite bad. The last track, MIA, they did pull it back. I don't think this project lives up to the hype of the first Libertine album, though. So that's all of their projects done, and you may or may not have noticed, I only have 5 songs in my top 7. And I've run out of projects. But they have a fuckload of singles that never made it onto any album. So I went through, listened to all of them, and most of them are misses. So don't bother like wading through all of them. I've done that work for you.
Lord's work.
And I'll give you the 2 best. There's Butter from this year, which I've dubbed Colours 2, and Innovators from 2017. The chorus on Innovators, it has one melody in there that just latches onto your brain. I want to play that a little bit. He just says one word in this particular way, and it's so like just catchy. Yeah, there. Innovators.
What's he saying?
Just innovators.
Oh.
Just the way that he says innovators. It's so like... whenever I listen to it, I just have that one word just running around inside my head the whole time. So, in conclusion, my list is Incense, Colours, Lakes, Tarlo, Shore, Butter, and Innovators.
There you go.